This week's episode of Mind Gap Podcast is brought to you by Daniel Brady's Fiddlin' and Diddlin' Party Experience. It's 2020, and guess who just got released from federal prison because some asshole didn't follow proper protocol when arresting a citizen carrying just over the legal amount of black tar heroin? That's right, it's your old buddy Daniel Brady, and I'm fixing to earn a living on the straight and narrow the only way I know how, fiddlin' and diddlin'. Oh, that's right. You're talking to the man who is not only going to provide you with the sonic fiddling force that is going to transform your dull-ass party into a transcendent dancing experience, but I'm also available to diddle your bits if you so choose. Choose from any music genre, artist, or time period. Your pal Daniel Brady has been blessed with the gift of perfect pitch and can instantaneously play whatever tune you desire. I also have some pretty long fingers that can go places you can't even imagine. Whether it's a birthday party, bachelorette party, retirement party, or wake, I, Daniel Brady, am prepared to blow your mind and tickle your body. Head on over to fiddleanddiddle.xsite.com today for more information on my party packages. Simply fill out the form and make sure you enter your accurate age. I'm not going through that shit again. List Mind Gap as a reference, and I'll throw in a free hokey pokey fiddle or diddle of your choice. Daniel Brady's Fiddlin' and Diddlin' Party Experience. I'm finally free, and I'm going to make the most of it while it lasts. Oh my goodness. Justin and I were visited digitally by one of the most humble and amazing humans on this earth, Omari Brown. Omari and I go way back to 2014 when we used to work at the same company, and we bonded over our shared love of improv comedy. This man is now in the apprentice program on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. That's right. This guy is helping to create The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and he was kind enough to hang out with us and talk about his experiences, including what it was like having one of his own comedic bits getting produced and aired on the show. I can't say it enough. Omari is one of the coolest people I know, and we were so fortunate to have him come chat with us. So pull up a chair, get out a pen and paper, and take some goddamn notes for once, because Omari Brown is coming at you with some true comedic knowledge in episode 242 of Mind Gap Podcast.
Mind Gap Podcast.
We want to welcome our guest, Omari Brown, all the way from the East Coast, joining us on this very balmy Tuesday evening I've been wanting to have you on here forever, and it's one of those things where nowadays we're like, hey, everyone's at home. Surely they can spare an hour on everyone's favorite, vocal and video chat device, Skype. Everyone just wants to do that. So thanks for hanging out with us and coming on here. We have so many things we want to ask you. Yeah. Because you're a man doing cool things, and we want to know all about those cool things.
Also, thank you. Thank you guys for having me. It's pretty cool. Man, just anything new is always fun during this quarantine isolation thing. So please, anybody else out there that's on Twitch, I'll do more stuff if I'm free. No, wait, I phrased that wrong. I would do interviews. I won't do what I think that you're thinking that I'm thinking for free.
You don't know what they're thinking.
Our audience is disgusting, so you're right to qualify that statement.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. All right. I'm in the right group.
You're in kind arms over here with this group of people. Let me tell you. Yeah. So I guess you have a pretty cool job, man. Why don't you tell everyone about what you do?
Yeah, I currently right now I am an apprentice in the apprentice program at The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Is pretty fun. It's a 1-year program where you get to learn all types of things that runs how do you run a late night talk show, as far as working with the cold open team, writing new bits every single day. Cold open, they do 2 sketches every day. Obviously, one makes it to air, which sucks because some are just so good. You have to cut it because the other one is just funnier, or the other one gets to the punchline a little bit quicker. So it's just like, can't we save it for tomorrow? It's like, no, that it'll be old if we do it tomorrow. So I worked with the cold open. I've worked with my production background experience. I've worked with the control room in terms of editing and calling the shots, being a director and everything behind the scenes. That is fun and also very hectic because there are more buttons.
That sounds like Doug's worst nightmare.
Yeah, it sounds like an overwhelming shit show. It sounds like something for me.
I directed a lot of news for a couple of years, and I'm, there of course there are a lot of buttons. I'm used to like, okay, this does that, this does that. Okay, this takes it to this camera, but it's that times like 4, and I'm like, how? I don't know. I don't want to be I don't need that stress.
Yeah.
To like tell Stephen, hey, can we take that from the top?
Have you had to do that yet?
I cut too fast. So yeah.
Have you had to have you had to do that yet? Be like, hey, Steve.
No. Yeah, just that's I was like, it's fun. I don't want that pressure.
Well, I want to know right into that then. What is the most like harrowing experience that you've had thus far on the show? Obviously, you haven't had to stop Colbert mid-bit and go, "Hey, Stevie baby, we got to take that from the top." But what has been the thing where you're just like, I don't want to do this at all?
Handling the scripts for a rehearsal.
Okay.
So Stephen, let's just say Monday through Wednesday, because double shows are on Thursdays, because all late night talk shows get Fridays off. So Monday through Wednesday, you have to print out a script. Stephen gets the script, the showrunner, the head writers, the script coordinator, teleprompter, a couple of other, like 3 of the writers who help write the monologue, the code open head writer. So just like I say, about 11 people get the script. So your job is to make sure Stephen gets his script first, showrunner, head writer, then the producers, and they go down in that order. And they give you like a 10-minute window, which sounds like, oh, that's plenty of time. It is not. It is not. So you have to print so much paper, and like, let's say an average script is maybe about 36 pages, but there's no way to tell, okay, that's 34, that's 35, that's 36, take this out.
What, they don't have page numbers?
No, they have page numbers, but they're flipped backwards, so you see the back of the page.
Oh, okay.
So now you're just like, okay, I see this blank paper. Hey, Omari. I said, don't talk to me. I'm about to lose count. Okay, 21, 22. Oh, my God. Said,
sounds like you guys need a big deal with Xerox here to help you guys collate. Maybe we can have some sponsors reach out to you guys. I don't know. Who knows?
I was like, hey, can we just flip it the other way so we can see the page numbers?
That's not how we do things here.
Why are we not doing this?
That's not how Carson did it. That's not how Steve Allen did it. No one will do it that way. Yeah.
Right. So that was like one of the biggest. So Thursday, like I was saying, it's a double show day. So that's twice the amount of scripts that has to be handed out still within those 10 minutes. And in those 10 minutes, Stephen is in makeup, going down to the theater. Everybody else is in the elevator going down to the theater. And your job is to make it there before they get there. So you have to go to the control room. You have to go to the theater. Then you have to go to the prompter, which is on the side of the theater. You have to do all that within 10 minutes.
Jeez. Good Lord.
And I was just like this. I was like this. The script PA was out because he was sick, and then another person got sick, and so he took their spot. So I was like, Omari, hey man, apprentice. It's kind of like let's see. There are the PAs, and then there's the apprentice, and then there's the interns. Interns, the college interns are there like maybe once or twice a week. But I'm there every day. So like there's like, okay, the PAs, they're busy doing stuff. So Omari, you're the go-to guy. So I had to handle all that stuff. So I was looking on my phone because I took screenshots of who gets what and where does it go, because they're very picky on, hey, this was supposed to be on the mic stand over here. Why is it on the mic stand over there? I'm like,
Oh, God.
Jesus.
This sounds like my nightmare. Like, I would want nothing to do with any of this. This sounds
And I'm just like,
horrible.
It's right there. But, it's just like, just know your place,
Sure.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's fun. In a way, I kind of like that rush because it's just like everybody's counting on you.
That's cool.
Even though you hand out the scripts, it's just for rehearsal, and just know that like mostly half of that stuff's going to be cut anyway after everybody hears all the jokes and stuff in rehearsal. But yeah, it's fun. The apprentice program, it's a 1-year program, so cold open, dealing with production. Right now I'm with digital, so we rotate every like 2 months. So the program is between August and August. So I'll be done. I don't know, in August, but we'll see. It's kind of weird right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what will happen. But normally, thankfully, throughout that's now running into its 5th year of the apprentice program, everybody's been hired on the show. So it's something good to, everybody say, oh, man, you're good. And so I'm in digital right now. So basically I help edit clips for all social media platforms. That's Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and we're trying to get Stephen to do TikTok stuff, but he
would be perfect for TikTok. That's like made for him.
He's getting there. You really gotta like sell it to him. Like sell it to him within the first 2 times. After that, he's just, I gotta see somebody else do it. Then like, okay, all right, maybe I'll do it.
I can imagine he's the type of guy that would be very, very pragmatic in his approach to things. Like if he doesn't immediately see the benefit or see how it's useful, he's like, look, I don't have time for that. So if you can tell me why this makes sense for me, then great, we'll do it. And if not, no, thank you.
Omari, you realize the golden opportunity you have in front of you, right? You do a magnificent TikTok for Stephen. You show him the value of it. You're like, hey, Stephen, I'm not going to tell you. I just want you to watch and listen.
Right.
Omari's amazing TikTok comes up. You're like, this could be you. You could be cool, Stephen.
Stephen, I want to show you how you could be better. Okay.
I want to show you how to reach the kids.
It's the next generation. Just get those views, man. That's all it's about.
Yeah,
it's got to be so cool. I've been for such a long time. I've been such a fan of. For a long time, it was I had it on like my dream job to be in late night television. Like it's just got to be such a surreal experience. Walking onto that set. One of the people on Twitch Watch right now wanted to know what was your experience like seeing that set in person for the first time, meeting Stephen. Like, how did you handle that?
Still to this day, it's still a lot to take in because my first day, I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. Because, this is, just like anybody else, you dream of these things and you're just like, hey, if it happens, it happens. If not, at least I'm doing what I wanted to do because I love it so much. And my first day was just, I can't believe this is happening. Just everybody's so friendly in the workplace, and the catering. Every Tuesday and Thursday we get catering, and so it's like, yeah, you don't even have to worry about lunch. You got Pizza Tuesdays. And I was like, Pizza Tuesdays. I was like, yeah. It's like, all right,
I made it. It's Pizza Tuesdays. Woo!
Like, my first day, and it's like, yeah, you get all the catering and stuff, and there's snacks everywhere. So I think secretly the goal is to make everybody fat because they don't want the writers and everybody else to leave the building. So everything that you can think of, all the snacks and goodies, are inside. And I was like, this is insane how all this stuff is here.
Smart.
Yes, very smart, very smart. But yeah, working there is fun. Meeting Stephen, I think it was like my second week there when I was helping with the scripts. After we hand out the scripts after rehearsal, I have to run down to the rewrite room, and I use my employee card and just swipe in like Stephen, head writers, and the producers so they can work on rewriting and all the other stuff. And he came down and he knows of me. Like he saw me. He's like, hey, these are the new people or whatever. But like that second week there, I swiped him in, and he was like, hey, how you doing, man? I've seen you around. Welcome. I was like, yeah.
That's gotta be amazing. Like, hi.
Yeah, man. Just like in your head, like, be cool, be cool, be cool. You know, don't say anything weird. You know, don't say anything weird. You know, I'm a big fan of Strangers with Candy and like the Colbert Report, of course. And I was just like, don't, be cool, man, be cool. And he's like, yeah, man. So what's your name? I was like, Omari. He said, cool, man. All right. Well, welcome, Omari. And yeah, I just want you to have fun here. I was like, yeah. Enjoy your time here. Hopefully you'll have a blast and you can stay with us after the program. I said, yeah, of course.
That's so
all right.
cool.
Well, I have to go and rewrite this show. I was like, why are you wasting your time talking to me? You know, I was like, but yeah, it was very.
Stephen, I assume you always have to go. Never apologize to me. Just walk away from me. You've got the power.
I'm nobody. Just do your thing. And security guard was like, hey, I saw that. I know. It was like pretty cool, right? I said, yeah, it's cool, man. They're all right, now get away, because
what you should have said is like, he's like, you know, we'd love to keep you. To be like, we'll see. I'm still. I got to evaluate. I'll give you my review in a year. I'll let you know.
If you said that, I was like, you know what? It's been fun. I had a good time here. It was totally worth it.
Hopefully you can stay around. Yeah, that makes one of us.
Was that a threat? I don't know.
Sure.
What do you think?
That's what you think.
And you smack him on the ass as he goes in to rewrite the show. You're like, give him double guns.
Get him, champ.
No, their security. Yeah, he was like very paranoid and quick. So if I did any type of move, and just like, what are you doing? I was like, So yeah.
You're like, he told me just to test your skills, and you're still good. Way to go, bud. You're doing great.
You're sharp. You're good.
We got another viewer on Twitch here who wants to know what you were doing before you got the job and how did you get the job?
Gotcha. Before I got the job, I was a director at a news station in North Carolina, technical director. So I was directing live news, and I was still doing comedy on the side, but not as much in North Carolina. And that was something comedy is something I could just never just completely like give up. So I was still like writing sketches, like sketch packets and stuff, and submitting to say like NBC, CBS. I still had an agent at the time last year, and just submitting packets here and there. But yeah, just working at news stations, directing live news. That's pretty much like my backup plan. I majored at VCU in mass communications, broadcast journalism. So just working in TV is always something I wanted to do. Comedy is that's my baby. And like, if I could work in comedy and do production, like, man, that's the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So yeah, before working at the station in North Carolina, I was working at One America News. That was my first news station that I was working on. And John Oliver got into that network pretty good. To the point where I'm like, Jesus. It's a conservative news station. I'm a liberal from Virginia, so like working there is very different. I learned a lot working there. Just the rush of working and directing live TV and just handling a lot of stuff. I worked there, let's say the second Obama's second term, like halfway into his second term, up until after Trump's first year. So I was dealing with a lot of stuff at the peak of Black Lives Matter, like Trayvon Martin and just all the other stuff. But yeah, it was very different. It was definitely new, and that was like my first like production like job. Before that, I was working with Doug. And,
that's right. Way back in the day, we met at SMS.
Yes.
And I feel like we instantly bonded. It was great because, more importantly, yes, like you talk about comedy. Like you were Second City, you were IO, you were in the conservatory program, you were at the pool at IO. You did all that great stuff, and if I may, one of my favorite, I haven't done a whole lot of shows, but one of my favorite shows was one of the ones you did with me. It was just you, me, and 3 other people, and we were doing, I forget what the name of the form was, but I think it was called The Bruise. And one of my favorite scenes we did, you told me that you were really bad at accents.
Oh, God.
And
yeah.
we did a scene where we were in British accents, and you came in and did a British accent, and it's actually, guys, it's on YouTube. And if I might pull it up and share it in the chat. It's one of my favorite scenes of all time.
Well, you know what, Doug? You know what I can do?
What's that?
I could pull it up right now.
Yeah,
you could definitely pull it up. It's on my highlight reel because it's classic. And I thank you for that, Doug.
No, one of my favorite things, because if there's only one thing I'm good at improv, it's pimping people out. I'm the best at that. And it was a moment where you came out. I knew you were bad at accents. I was like, hey, why don't you go talk to this person? I was like, you know what, it's not working. Why don't you sing her that song that she likes? And you did this amazing. It was one of my favorite moments because you were such a good sport about it, and you leaned into it, and you really encompassed everything about comedy and improv, which is like, all right, you said I gotta do it, so I'm gonna do it, and it kills. From time to time, I'll go back and still watch that. I'm like, oh, that's still good. That's fun.
Oh yeah, it's good, man.
That's good stuff.
Good memories. I'm glad we were on the stage together to do that. So I'm thankful that you asked. And dude, I had so much fun that night.
That was an absolute blast. One of my favorite moments in comedy, hands down. It was the absolute best. So what did it take to get to the apprentice program? I imagine that's pretty competitive, right?
Yes. Yeah. So over 500 people applied, and they only took 2. Woo. So yeah. So I knew a writer from Chicago, and there's a lot of people from Chicago on the show that write. Especially Brian Stack is one guy. I'm not sure. He used to write for Conan.
Okay.
He was on stage at Second City back in the 90s, and he was on 30 Rock a couple of times. But a lot of people are from Chicago that are on the writing staff, and I was like, just sometimes you just hit people up every now and then, not always like every week or whatever. Just like, hey, I got this packet, just look over it. I'm not asking you to like submit it into the show or anything else, because I know writers, now that I'm on the show, I completely understand when writers like super busy. You get so many assignments to do, and like not all of them make it to air. But to get back to how I got on the show, was there was a writer on the show. I was like, hey, I got the sketch packet. It would be cool if you could look over it. He said, oh man, you know what? Perfect timing. With your background and experience of working in production, and with your comedy writing and sketch background, why don't you apply for this apprentice program? I was like, what the heck is that? And then he explained to me what I told you guys earlier. He said, that would be perfect for you because you have, comedy and you have production. So there's no way they wouldn't hire you. So I applied for it, and I was like, cool, it'd be cool if you said, I don't need to put in a good word. I just know, like, your resume is good. Just trust yourself. You'll get something back. Cut to like a month later, so like July, I got an email from one of the producers on the show, like, hey, got your resume. Very impressed with you working at all these news stations. And then you also have your Second City and IO stuff on here. Why don't you come on in? I was like, cool, yeah, sure. In the email, replying back and forth. Then one email she gave back to me, she said, cool, so I know it's Tuesday, so I'll see you in New York on Thursday. I'm like, I can't call off work like that. And she's like, okay, I don't see why that's an issue, but like I said, I will see you in New York on Thursday.
Holy shit, okay.
All right, okay. Tell my boss that I'm sick. Yeah.
That's the time where you say explosive diarrhea. I have a theory. Everyone gets that excuse one time in their life, and no one will ever question it because they're like, well, I mean, if this guy's going to straight up tell me he's got explosive diarrhea, then it must be bad. You only get one, though, because if you use it twice, you're like, he's full of shit. That's the time you use it. That's when you play that card. You're like, sorry, man, explosive diarrhea. Had some bad Thai food. I'll see you tomorrow.
I'll use that here. So I told my boss, I was like, look, I'm just going to take a couple of days off because I was owed a couple of vacation days anyway. So flew to New York and had the interview with the head producer and like a couple of the writers. And it was like, hey, tell me about yourself. Da, da, da. I told him my backstory, like improv and comedy and production and stuff. That's cool. And then we're talking. And it's like, oh my God. I was like, what's up? We're having, such a good time. We have to end this interview. I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Like, how long was the interview supposed to be? And it was like, it was only supposed to be 10 minutes. I was like, oh, well, how long has this interview been? It's like, you've been in here for 45 minutes.
Oh,
oh, dang. Okay. Is that good or bad? No. It's good. It's good. You're definitely something we haven't had before. So yeah. We'll give you a call back. You said you write. Do you have a packet or anything? I said, yeah. I actually, thank God, all those people who are aspiring writers, always write a packet, because you never know when you get that chance, that opportunity. I'm saying, please do not, because I used to be that guy. It's like, whenever a deadline comes up, then I'll write a packet every 3 to 6 or whatever months. But no, I'm like dead serious to all the aspiring writers, like especially in comedy. Always set a deadline for yourself. Write a packet each month, or 2 packets every other month or something like that. But just always update and revise your packet. Thank goodness I had that fresh packet, because if not, I would have been using jokes from like talking about the Ebola virus from like 2-3 years ago. I was like, okay, I got to update this.
So good question here. Someone just asked, like, what is a packet? Like, for someone who's not familiar with it.
Packet is just an example of just sketches that you think would fit for that show. So you would write a cold open. It's a opening sketch at the top of every late night comedy show. You write a mock monologue, which is you write a monologue type jokes that would do on Colbert, Fallon, Myers. But even though you're writing a mock monologue for Colbert, for example, you still want it to be showing your voice. So it's like, yes, he's saying it, but these jokes are my voice. So it's the cold open monologue, and then like 2 or 3 sketches that would do like for a desk segment, say like with Jimmy Fallon's thank you notes, like you write like, hey, I wrote this funny segment that would be cool for Stephen Colbert. These 3 ideas, give an example, then give like 2 or 3 jokes. Don't write the whole script. If you're doing like a full packet, but just give an example and then write maybe 2 or 3 of like that you think are the best sketches. We're just like, okay, this is why we should hire this person.
Nice. So yeah, that seems like in the boring world, making sure your resume is up to date, and why your resume would apply to this organization that you're interviewing for, but at a much more entertainment specific level. So that's awesome. Yeah. So you go through the interview. It's 45 minutes. Percentage wise, I mean, that's like 400%. Beyond. Justin, check the math on that. Does that check out?
Yes.
Justin's our math guy. He does all the calculations.
I'm a human calculator. Yeah.
Ask him anything right now. Ask him to divide something, and he'll do it for you.
342 divided by
18. I already know what you're going to say. 18.
He's also a prophet. Right.
It's always that or C. There's always that.
Right. Perfect. Yeah.
So what happens after the interview?
The interview, they said, do you have a packet? I said, yes, I will email you as soon as I get back to North Carolina, because I didn't bring my laptop. It was just pretty much just bring your clothes, just look sharp and presentable for the interview. And then like as soon as I got back to North Carolina, emailed them my packet like that next day, and they looked over it and it was like, cool. Right now we don't have any room on the writing staff, so we're not going to give you a writing spot. I said, that's fine. I wasn't asking for it, but what we will do is offer you a spot to be an apprentice in the apprentice program. I'll say, oh, snap.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. She's like, yeah, just because like you're bringing a lot to the table, and it's something different because the previous apprentices or apprenti or something or
whatever you want it to be, buddy. It's right.
Yeah, the previous participants or whatever one person worked in NPR and radio, so he's right now working in digital. Another person has like 80,000 followers on Instagram, so they're like the social media coordinator for the show.
How cool.
So every different apprentice person is bringing something. Another person worked in research, so she does all of the jokes, finding the clips of whatever Trump says. So like if a writer says, Trump said something about Easter and he was drinking water. And so that person in research has to look up those clips and then find all that for that writer to write that joke and then put it in the monologue or wherever else. So
I've always wondered how that happens. Like how they pour over hours of footage from every outlet and everyone who has a press conference. And that just seems staggering. Yeah.
Research there, like everybody is definitely useful on the show, and it's amazing how each like department is so helpful to make a brand new show every day. It's insane, from the research to the writers to the production, all the stuff that happens behind the scenes, like setting up, okay, for this pre-recorded sketch, we need to get licensing to shoot it at this location. We need to shoot it between these hours. You need to contact these stores to let them know we're shooting, and just be aware and monitor of, your people, like customers, whatever, coming into your store, because we're going to shoot at this location between these times. There's always like a production coordinator who's handling all that stuff. Me in digital, handling all the clips to work on promos for people to watch, like viewers like you guys, every night. So like everybody is doing something, like the makeup department, the tech crew. It's insane how much is done, especially on a late night talk show like SNL. Not taking anything away from that show, they're amazing, but they're prepping. They have a whole week to prep. We do this all in one day and then start over again that next day.
That's insane, man.
Yeah.
That sounds super exciting, but also based on my personality style, sounds like my nightmare, because every day is a fire you have to put out, but it's a cool fire. It's like a fire they're like, wow, that looks way prettier than your typical fire. And you'll know it'll be there again tomorrow. And I guess from a creative standpoint, it's almost like, hey, how are we going to solve this puzzle? That's kind of the way I try to look at things now, is like, here's a problem, especially if you get to do it in a creative setting. Like a lot of what I do now is instructional design, so I design training, so I'm doing a lot of video work, I'm doing a lot of stuff like that, so I'm like, how do I creatively get this message across and not make it boring? So it is kind of a fun challenge to see, like, what can I do to make that happen? But what you guys are doing, a lot more, what's the word? A lot more stakes, higher stakes, a lot more visibility.
Because the thing is, you guys have the almighty advertiser to hold yourself up against, that you have to hold yourself accountable to. Speaking of advertisers, Doug, we have an advertiser that we should pay some homage to right now.
Oh my gosh. I was like, that's such a great segue. Justin's also the king of segues. So I just got a quick ad read I'm going to do here. For again, another week in a row, it's Dating Confessions with Alicia and Jack. So gang, guess what? We have this amazing podcast, which we recommend. And essentially, are you a little immature, looking for a raunchy podcast that explores the scandalous and straight up crazy dating and relationship stories? Well, look no further than Dating Confessions with Alicia and Jack. So each week, Alicia and Jack read the absolutely insane relationship stories submitted by listeners like Two Good Hips, like A Dull Moment, like Water Speech. Do you want to get some perspective on when you ask your date about getting kinky? That's always a rough spot. When do you say,
look
hey,
at you, Two Good Hips.
Looking at you. How would you handle it if a lady asked you if she could put spaghetti in your dick hole? Huh? What would you say to that? What would you do if you noticed bed bug bites on your date after having sex with them? Have you ever answered a voyeur ad for an orgy at a park only to find out it was just a bunch of seniors having that orgy? Well, guess what? This is the type of humanitarian work that Alicia and Jack are exploring in their hilarious podcast, Dating Confessions with Alicia and Jack. So do yourself a favor, give it a listen, because let's be honest here, hearing about the crazy shit that happens in other people's lives makes you feel better about your own, right? I know it makes me feel better. So check out Dating Confessions with Alicia and Jack on confessionspod.com, as well as Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts. That's Dating Confessions with Alicia and Jack. Go give it a listen, you fucks. Now back to the podcast.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, you think you guys want to promote that on your show? I'll let you do it if you want.
I'll let you do it.
You can take the copy. You don't have to change anything. I mean, I think it's pretty good as it is.
Mm-hmm. I'll take full credit of it. It's no.
See, but do that on a TikTok and present it to Steven with some music in the background. You got yourself, what do they call it? A golden record? Is that what they call those?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
I think so, yeah.
A golden TikTok? That's what they call it? So, go ahead, Justin.
No, I was going to ask with the whole, COVID-19 and quarantine thing. Now everyone's working from home. I'm obviously everyone, Fallon is doing the, Tonight Show at Home edition. Colbert's doing at home. Kimmel, everyone has switched to that. What has that? Can you speak to what that's been like for you, who's really new to that family? Like, what has it been like to have that your workday upended like that?
Yeah, it's been a very interesting year so far working on the show, from like, hey, living a dream, like, all right, now you got to go home. But nope, you got to go home. I was like, all right. But yeah, it's definitely it's extremely different. It's very difficult because everybody is they're using their work laptops instead of like the expensive hardware systems that are in the office. So, for example, like the editors, and everybody has to depend on laptops. So imagine the nightmare the editors have to do every night, getting those big files from the interview, the cold open, the monologue, and then cutting that down, and then praying that none of that shuts down or crashes, and then hopefully make it to send it to the CBS Broadcast Center Master Control by 11:30. Last week, as I was telling Doug earlier, we made it to 11:21 p.m. and the show aired.
Fuck up.
Yes. Yes. I was like, oh man, this is because like everybody's like, where's the show? Because like, everybody
Where's the show?
Everybody has their part.
Where's the show?
It's like, is it just gonna be black? Or are they gonna show like beep, like a flat line, or is like what nobody knows? Like everyone's like, everybody calm down.
Do we still own Friends? Can we put Friends on here just for a little bit?
It's like Frasier. Can we get Frasier? But oh man, it was just like, because everybody had to work so hard and so fast in terms of making sure everything was sent out. We promoted stuff, but we didn't get to do clips, obviously, of course, because of everything was so time sensitive. So it's like, hey, tune in tonight. We'll have, Chance the Rapper. But yeah, it's very tough because everybody depends on a laptop, like I was saying, and nobody can go out and get fresh air and say like they can go to Barnes and Noble to edit stuff. They have to stay home and do everything. And it's a learning experience for everybody. It's tough because you're dealing with people who's worked in television for like 20 plus years. Like all the people who work in audio and the tech crew, they know they have a routine. Now they have to do all this stuff on a laptop. And so nobody can teach them anything. Everybody has to learn fresh.
Interesting.
On their own. Yeah. So we're learning it. I'm not saying it's easy. It may look easy when you see the final product, but it's tough, man.
What's the comedy like in the midst of all this? Like, is it harder to find the comedy? Is it easy? Are you guys more concerned? Like, you might be hitting some touch points or anything like that?
Yeah, there's definitely concern because everybody's worried about when we can come back to New York. Most of the staff like went back to like their actual home, and some people actually stayed in New York because they didn't want to, it harm their family, if anything, if they have something. As of right now, nobody on the staff has anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
But being in New York is just like, I don't know if I may have caught something, and I don't want to give that to my grandmother, or my aunt or anybody else in your family. So, the comedy is definitely tough to come up with some jokes. The best thing we could do is just talk about Trump, because
I was gonna make a joke that you can always do that, but that was actually your thing. That's actually your answer.
It's so easy. I'm just like, I don't want to say it, but it's just like you gotta talk about it. But we do think of other like stuff that we can do. That we're trying to think of stuff right now for John Baptiste to do on the show, where he's just scoring like chores, like around the house, like mopping or whatever.
I love that.
That's amazing.
So we're working on like fun bits that could keep the viewers and everybody just sane, of like, oh, okay, so they're experiencing the same thing that I'm going through too.
Yeah.
But we're just trying to make light of every situation right now on all social media platforms. One of the guys in the digital department came up with a indoor appreciation month. So each day is a day of something. So I think today is tell us what book you're reading. So people would post that and put in, the hashtag indoor appreciation month, because we'll assume that it's just the month of April. Because if it gets to May, it's just like, oh geez, I don't know what to do.
No,
but yeah, we'll just assume it's just for the entire month of April. So we're always trying to come up with fun ideas for people to do, because we want to keep people not just to focus on, like, there are better things, lighter things to focus on besides the serious stuff that's going on right now worldwide. Like, hey, things will get better. We're all in this together. Mm-hmm. There's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. So just no stress.
Yeah. This is one of the times where, like, whether or not people are a fan of late night shows or not or whatever, I've always been a fan of them. But I think now shows like this, the fact that you guys are still able to put the show on at home, I think it's such a needed thing, and especially now in the digital age, when you can consume it on YouTube the next day, if you can't stay up or if you're whatever, like it's a nice bit of respite from just everything that's happening in the news, and like it's such a necessary job. It's in and of its own way is kind of like an emergency. Like you guys are providing something that I think is necessary, which is a little bit of levity.
Yeah, comedy is definitely needed for sure. Through all pain, comedy is definitely needed for sure.
Yeah,
I agree. And we want to make us, we're respecting your time. You're a busy guy. You got a show to produce and everything like that. But
I haven't heard anything from the editors, so you're good right now.
All right, cool. I suppose I want to check in because you're an important guy.
I'm checking my alerts right now, and like right now I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried.
Yeah. If Omari just goes, see you guys, and closes his laptop, you'll know why. It's because he's got to make that TikTok.
Just goes dark, then like, oh, it was a fire drill.
But there was you had a really cool moment recently on the show where one of your ideas you pitched got produced and put on the show. Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I pitched this idea. The title of the sketch that I pitched is Black Future Month. And how I pitched it was, every Black History, we talk about the same facts and, like, hey, remember Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X. I know we all grew up, learning about that stuff. But I said, why don't we talk about the stuff that hasn't even happened yet? All the great achievements that's happened in Black Future. And let's make that a thing. And I was like, every week, in the digital meetings, they said, all right, what ideas have you thought over the weekend? I've pitched 1 million. Okay, so yeah, that's another thing. So excuse me if I'm going all over the place, because that's my ADHD. Since I've worked there, I promised the producers that my goal is to put out original content, and I love like just pitching sketches and brainstorming and working with a lot of people. So like since I've been on the show, and when I started in September, I pitched a lot of stuff like every week. Sometimes they're like, okay, yeah, there's okay. Sometimes they're like, oh, we like this. Let's shoot it. Let's air it. And it's gotten so close to making it to air. And it's like, hey, because of time, we're going to cut it. Oh my God. Wow. So
Welcome to show business, kid.
exactly. So yeah, there are definitely moments like that, and you just got to know your role, because there's definitely a time where a couple of sketches got on where a writer who's been there like 5 years, even on the Colbert Report, again, say like my sketch, well, I've only worked there for like 3 months, and I was like, well, hey, I know, hey man, welcome to show business. You know, these things happen. Don't worry, you'll do it later on the road. Somebody else. It's just, I've earned this. And I was like, I'm not knocking anything towards you, because everybody's had their hardships of like earning their stripes and cutting stuff. So I'm definitely learning a lot of stuff, and you just can't take it to heart if your stuff gets cut.
Yeah.
I always have to remind myself, remember where you are and all the hard stuff and all the no's that you were told to get to where you are. So I'm very thankful for learning that much from Second City and IO, just learning from your failure. What can I do from here?
Yeah.
You know, I didn't get this role. I wasn't casted in this. I didn't get this and that. I got cut from this team. Like, what? No, did I hit my peak in my career? Just love your nose and just learn, you know, you can get, comedically, I'm just saying, like, for all the other stuff. Again, this is a weird room, but embrace your nose, and just you can learn from that and say, okay, this didn't work. What can I do to revise this, or think of something better that can get everybody on board? So to cut back to Black Future Month, I pitched that in January, and it was like, oh, this is cool. Who do you think that would be perfect for this? I said, oh, in my mind, I'm like, David Allen Greer, because he lived at the time like right across the street, because he was doing Broadway, A Soldier Story.
Perfect.
So, like David Allen Greer. I was like, I don't know. I was like, maybe Jamie Foxx, Tommy. So basically everybody that was on A Living Color. I said, oh yeah. I was like, well, I was gonna say Eddie Murphy, but I don't know. He's out in L.A. I mean, if y'all can get Eddie, that would be great. But no, it is like we can't get Eddie. I said, oh, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, David Allen Greer is like right across the street, so if you can get him, that'd be great. So they got David. David, he said, oh, I like this. This is different. Yeah, I'm on board. I was like, what? Okay, so this is January. Cool. I was like, okay, all right. February is next week's, guys. So you want to get started on this stuff? We'll get to it. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Hey guys, second week, February. You know, cool. We can get started on this stuff. We'll get to it. You know, we got to retool or revise. We like the jokes that you have. We want to see if we can come up with better stuff. All right, cool. Yeah, man, whatever. Next week, third week of February. It's all good, man. Just want to get it out before the month is over with. So it's like, all right, guys, it's the last week of February. I'm not saying, you know, I'm giving up on stuff, but, you know, I'm very optimistic on this. Like, we got it. We're going to do it in March. And here's why we're going to do it in March, because we want to give respect to Black History Month, first and foremost. And if we do it in March, you know, therefore we won't get any angry viewers or comments or anything. How dare you make fun of this stuff? Mm-hmm. So just to be on the safe side, we're going to do it the first week of March. I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. Whatever. I mean, you all said yes, and making it this far, whatever you guys say, pretty much. Sure enough, that first Monday, David Allen Greer came in, and I was like, oh my God, it's happening. Like, holy crap, this is happening. Okay, all right. So he's reading the script, and he's a super nice guy. He's like, hey, what's up? He's like, this is funny. who did this? In the room, there's we had, like a diverse group of people. And, the director who at the time for that sketch was white. And he's like, did you write all this stuff? Because David Allen Greer, just checking. He's like, no. Omari did. He said, oh, he did? Oh, okay. Yeah, I like it. I was like, oh, man. He's about to get into it because he's reading the sketches like, yeah, it's cool. But I want to know who wrote it. I was like, yeah, I wrote it. Oh, man, hey, come here, man. Give me that.
Oh, my God.
Giving that was cool before the social distancing, and I don't know what we can do now.
Right.
But, yeah, David Allen Greer knocked it out of the park.
Oh, my God.
There was some stuff I can't say that we can't air because, he's such a goofball.
I can only imagine.
This is not making it on late night TV.
I can only imagine what was left on the cutting room floor.
Is this HBO or Showtime? Oh, yeah. Like, this is definitely make it. Or Comedy Central.
Yeah.
It was like, this is CBS, and a lot, his fan base is mostly like 35 to like 49 and liberals. So just like, I was like, I don't know, man. Like maybe if this was a different show, like maybe the Daily Show, then yeah, all this stuff would fly. But just like, remember, it is the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. So like, be happy with what you got. Like, man, oh man, these are so good. But it was a great experience. I was so happy after that. And then like that next day, we saw the final like cut of it. And it was like, you got any ideas or anything else you want to? I said, no, man, this is it. This is exactly what I wanted. Shout out to the graphics department for doing everything. The director for understanding my vision, because that's another thing working in comedy is, man, you don't get this sketch? You're crazy. He's like, help me understand your idea. This is your baby.
I love that.
Right?
Wow.
So much.
So, especially working in a fast-paced environment like that, you have to keep it short, keep it simple, and get straight to the point so they can understand your vision. Because if you're giving them a full paragraph, all right, so this point, and at 2:00 he's right here, and he's eating a sandwich there, and it's like, it's too much to get to the punchline. We're not doing it.
Right.
And then you'll see it on Fallon 2 weeks later, and it's like, oh, well. And that's the same thing. He said, you didn't explain it like that. You said he was doing all this stuff. So
again, this is where I would be terrible is in this job because I cannot communicate my ideas very effectively at all.
Oh God. You don't know how many times I'll be in a pitch meeting. So like all right, you know what? Never mind. This made sense in the right here. So let's skip that idea.
Have you guys watched this YouTube series? You're going to need to watch it to get the backstory of the universe for which I'm working in, and then you'll probably get the joke.
Right.
So come back to me after you've binged this Netflix series. Yeah. What? No, I was going to ask, like, what's like to the point that you said, like, if you don't get it out there, then you'll see it on like Fallon or on Kimmel or something like the next night or the next week. Like, how often does that happen where like either because I have to assume like the writing community at that echelon, at that level is so tight knit that ideas get leaked or passed around, and like is it pretty common to see something that someone like mentions and it gets passed, like immediately gets snatched up by another show because they got caught wind of it or something? Or
that could happen. I pitched an idea that was kind of similar to Jimmy Fallon's like classroom instruments.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, we could do that, but in a green room and have like a late night like talk show type thing. And then it's like, yeah, we could do that, but you're saying like having like a house band, having the instruments, that's kind of like Fallon, so we don't want to get in trouble of doing that. I was like, all right, that makes sense. So like there are a lot of stuff. I was thinking, and I should have pitched it. Like that's another thing is if you have an idea, be confident about it and just shoot it out. If they don't like it, they don't like it. At least there's a paper trail that it was out there.
Right.
I was thinking of pitching something for Samuel L. Jackson to do.
Oh, tell me more.
Like he made a new children's book and it's called "Get the F Back in the House."
Mhm.
Yes.
But I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I was telling my wife, I was like, should I pitch her? She was like, no, Samuel L. Jackson. I don't know. I was like, all right, okay, I won't do it. Cut to that next morning, Jimmy Kimmel had Samuel L. Jackson. I was like, mother. No, why? I mean, even if I did pitch it, it would have been too late because Kimmel already had it like that night.
Yeah.
But
They had it
still,
packaged, yeah.
yeah, it's already, that's something I learned too, is like pitch it when you got it.
Yeah.
Even if it fails or not, and I've gained a lot of confidence. Another example is LL Cool J was the host of Lip Sync Battle, and LL Cool J, loves licking his lips a lot. And I pitched this idea. I was like, why don't you do chat lip sync battle? And it was like, that's cool, but I don't know how. I was like, all right, that's fine. That's stupid. I know. Yeah. So like,
But the point is, you got it out there.
yeah,
Like, you
yeah.
threw it out because, again, what is that? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So, like,
Exactly.
just throw it out, and if it gets passed, it gets passed. But if you don't throw it out, you'll never know.
And at the
Exactly.
very least, you could play around with it. It's like you throw that
Yeah.
out there. It's like go back and forth. It's like, is there anything there? No, I don't think so. But if there is, it's like cool. There's a nugget there. Let's see what we can do with it. If there's nothing, it's like whatever, man. They're not all going to be gems. I know that.
Yeah.
So that, but yeah, to have the confidence to be like, hey, chaplet bag.
If a writer
What do you think?
did it freeze?
Yeah.
I see
It
it.
did.
Oh, you're back now.
Okay.
You did freeze for a minute, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
But so look, I know you are again. I'm getting nervous that we're getting into like the 0 hour where like things are going to be coming down the pike. So I want to throw one more question from our Twitch feed out there before we start to wrap things up. And they said that other than a consistently updated packet, what is your advice to someone looking to get onto a show like Colbert? What else can people do? Is it networking? Is it what could you say?
Networking is definitely the key. You want to make sure that you're very friendly with everybody. So like when everything gets back to normal and people are taking improv classes or like in the stand-up community, make friends with people. Go out there, start a friendship. Like, hey, I got this sketch idea. Do you want to work on creating a sketch packet, or let's do a sketch show together? Just like what, Doug and I, we met at SMS, love, comedy. And I found out he did improv. I was like, we got to do a show together. So like, it's really, networking, meeting people, making friends, try to be nice. I know. And, especially in the entertainment industry, everybody is like crucial. It's dog eat dog, but it's also very, a small world. You won't believe who knows who and how that could mess you up in your career. So, networking, always update and revise your sketch comedy packet. Try to push yourself, like I said, when things get normal again, to go out to improv jams, go to stand-up open mics, promote yourself, believe in yourself. I know there are days where it gets rough. Like in North Carolina, it got rough for me because like where I live, there's really not much comedy out here. I would have to drive to Raleigh, which is about like 2.5 hours away, pay for an open mic to get on, and then drive 2.5 hours back.
That's rough.
Yeah. So, I was living in San Diego, so there's plenty of stuff out in San Diego, like the Comedy Store. And I can also drive up to LA, and then being in Chicago, which in my opinion is the mecca of comedy, there's theaters close, so you can do that. But like if you're in New York, Chicago, or any other place, just make friends, keep working on your grind, and you'll get there. I know times will be tough where you just hit a wall, like I can't think of anything else. It's okay to take a break, get back to it. Don't stress. Things will happen. It'll definitly happen. And also it's who you know. Even though the writer who said, the writer who, like, he said he didn't help me. I don't know if he did or did not. He's no longer writing on the show. He's writing for James Gordon now out in LA. So it really depends on like who you know. That's another like helpful tip. And I learned that in school as well. It's not what you know, it's who you know. It sucks.
It can be good or bad in that regard, Yeah. It's because of actually one of the people on Twitch that I was able to get out of a shitty job that I was in. He basically pulled me out of there and got me where on a better trajectory. So yeah, it helps to know people. So I can concur with that, and I'm not even in the entertainment industry. Or am I, since we're on Twitch? Who knows?
Doug, you are on a whole new trajectory. You didn't even know was coming.
That's my response to that. A guttural noise.
The show will be done in about 5 minutes, editing-wise, and then we'll get everything. Did you guys have any questions, or anybody else on Twitch?
Oh, we've got one more question for you. One big question that should take us about 5 minutes. Justin, would you like to do the honors?
It's the throwdown!
So, Omar, you may not be familiar with the show. It's okay. So we usually end our show with a throwdown between two things. Two things enter, one thing leaves. In the past, things like Hulk versus Superman, or it could be like a verbal debate between Groot and Hodor. Who knows? So we know you are a very particular fan of a franchise known as Ghostbusters. So specifically for you, we picked something special. Justin, what do we have in store for Omari tonight?
Well, today, the two entities, if you will, entering the throwdown arena are going to be Gozer the Gozerian versus Vigo the Carpathian.
So, if these two things were to enter a death match, a throwdown of sorts, who would win and why? I will defer to you, Omari, because it's been a while since I don't know all the aspects of them, but we can debate them. So
I watched a shitload of clips today.
Justin does his homework.
Let's see, man.
Vigo relies on slime. I know that much.
Right.
That makes people sad.
He also sat upon a throne of blood, according to himself. He was a very, very evil wizard.
Dude, when you say it, it makes it seem so nerdy. It makes it seem like I should be ashamed for liking this.
You're welcome.
He said he was an evil wizard.
I don't know if you've heard of Vigo the Carpathian, but he was an evil wizard and sat upon a throne of blood.
Let's see. Vigo, I say his main goal was just kind of like Thanos, just make everything evil, and he would reincarnate himself. And then just
because he tried to put himself into that baby.
He was a baby,
right? Well, he had his person bring that baby so he could live again, and he said like the reign of evil starts now.
Right. So his goal is just to cause havoc, and just that would be his piece. As for Gozer, she would bring all types of like death, like zombies and all the other stuff. So it would turn into a whole world of like The Walking Dead. Which is, I'm trying to decide like what's more like dangerous.
Well, it's also because Gozer also allows you to choose the way in which you're going to die. So I would say she has the capability of summoning your deepest, darkest, or really whatever you want. She has a power to make that happen. Whereas Vigo's like, I'm in a painting, and I need to get out of this painting. And that's really all we see him do, other than shoot like bolts of lightning at people and kind of possess them a little bit and influence them. But I don't really know what he's capable of either.
Well, he makes the Ghostbusters writhe at the end. He throws some sort of like energy blast at them and like paralyzes them and makes them in like extrude. So he's got those powers. But Gozer's a devil.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say Gozer's a demigod, so I don't know.
Gozer's definitely a demigod. So like, there's a demigod over like Vigo. Vigo, he can also transform into another body, because remember he transformed into Ray for the movie. So it would definitely Gozer would definitely leave the room, because Gozer, whatever it wants to be, is definitely a badass and could definitely cause havoc doing whatever she wanted to do. Again, going off of what Doug was saying, was you choose your death, and she gets a thrill. It gets a thrill out of like killing people. That was that main person's goal.
Yeah, I
Plus
think
it's got those like fucked up dogs that scared me as a kid.
Yes, the terror dog.
I did not like, the Keymaster and the Gatekeeper. Did not like those.
A dull moment on Twitch says Vigo has a stupid accent too, if that matters. So I think going off what Justin said, which is a pretty determining factor, is that Vigo was a mortal who became a wizard who dabbled in some magic, whereas Gorzo, Zorro was...
I think Gozer is its musician name.
Is a demigod. So I feel like just what they have access to just naturally is way more devastating than anything Vigo, whatever his name is. I don't know why their names are. Whatever, fuck him. I vote for...
Gozer may come back going off of Ghostbusters Afterlife, because there were definitely lots of like Easter eggs that were in the Afterlife trailer. By the way, I'm very sad and heartbroken that it got postponed. But on the upside, it's coming out on my birthday next year.
There you go. So, quick detour. You're feeling good about it? You feeling good about that movie?
I'm gonna be biased. I feel good anything Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Answer the call. I mean, I didn't not like it.
Put that like on a tweet, on a poster. I did not like it. I don't understand the grammar crossouts that happened there.
I was like, this is what we're getting.
I give it stars.
It's like someone gives you a plate of food and you're like, well, I mean, I'm going to eat it.
It's porridge.
It's food. And right. I didn't ask for this, but they gave it to me and they made it, so I'm going to eat it.
I'm happy, it got made. So Afterlife they got the original people that's been confirmed. They're in it, and it's back to the original universe. So that's why I was so kind of upset with Answer the Call, because alternate universe. And it's like, no, we're not the Ghostbusters, we're something else. I was like, wait, but you're using the same setup and everything. But okay, all right. Be happy, man.
We got another Ghostbusters movie. That's awesome. But back to the throwdown. I vote for Gozer. Anyone else?
Sure. Yeah.
Gozer?
Sure.
Gozer the Gozerian for the win!
All right, buddy.
Gozerian, not Gogarian. Sorry.
Gogerian. I know you got to get going, Omari. So really what we want to do at this point is we roll out the carpet for you to plug anything that you got going on. If you have any recommendations, if you want people to follow you on social media, the floor is yours, sir.
Is there any TV shows you think people should watch?
Yeah, I know. Is there anything? I don't know.
Right now, I have a 3-year-old, and she's taken over the TV. So I'm watching nothing but Disney Plus stuff. I had to tell my daughter that Elsa and Anna have corona.
Oh no,
I'm so tired
dude!
Of seeing
much respect. I have so much respect for you right now. That is amazing.
I was like, they're so sick right now. We can't watch this over and over again. I know people are saying Tiger King. I haven't seen it yet.
Neither have I.
There's plenty of time to see it. So if anybody, you haven't, there's so much time to see it. So I put Tiger King up there. Other new shows that are out, I don't know, but the current stuff that I'm watching now is just like, I like reliving like my childhood movies. Like on Disney Plus, there's Heavyweights, there's Blank Check. I saw on Amazon Prime there's Little Giants. So it's basically all like 90s kids movies, and then you look like, oh man, you can't say that today.
It's so true. It's so true.
Or like, hey, that's not right.
Well, I mean, if you go back to Ghostbusters, I mean, Ray has a dream.
I know where you're going. Yep. I know where you're going.
I bring this up all the time. I mean, he dreams he gets a blowjob from a ghost. I mean, I'm just saying, like.
Yeah. When
he didn't dream anything.
Oh.
When I went back as don't watch it, I was like, what? How? Okay, whatever. That's fine. It's all good.
Yeah.
Is there any other show that maybe comes on late at night or something
like
that you'd recommend?
11:30 at night, something like that?
Oh my God, yeah. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. I mean, I was thinking personally for me, I was like, I watch the show so much throughout the day. It's just like, I've already seen it like 3 or 4 times. It's just like, okay. It's so amusing to me.
Right. So you forget some people are like, oh, this is the first time they've seen the show.
You're like, I know the ins and outs.
Was like, oh my God, you didn't tell. I said, yeah. You were on the show. And I was like, oh, that's right. You haven't seen it yet. It was like, I've seen the rehearsal of doing the joke over and over again. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. They're on the show.
That's so cool. Omari, thank you so much for your time, man. This is amazing. You're the best.
I had an amazing time. Thank you guys for having me. Nice to meet you, Justin.
Very nice to meet you. Hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, please hit me up. We could definitely chat again towards the end of this period, whenever everybody goes back to work. And when I go back to work, don't hesitate to hit me up again.
Oh, you're on the list, my friend, the good list.
Okay, yeah.
We'll be talking again soon. For
Hopefully,
sure.
I answered everybody's questions and you guys had a good time.
That was fantastic, man.
This is great, man.
Well, good luck editing tonight. You go be awesome, and thanks for all your insight, man. This is great.
The show is done, and they're sending the file now. So, yeah, perfect
timing. All right, pal. Well, you take it easy, and we'll talk soon.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, see you, man. Guys. See you guys. All right. So we're still on because we still have stuff to do. Don't worry, we're not done yet, guys, because we still have to do our recommendations. We're just respectful of our guests' time.
Hey, Doug, real quick, by the way, I figured out early on how to rectify the situation of cameras, or how to. How we had two bubbles. All you had to do is drag one of those bubbles down in the center, and it would have automatically split screened it.
Why wasn't that anywhere where I searched? Huh? Why wasn't that anywhere where I searched? Anyway,
I didn't find it searching though. I found it. I just started clicking around my screen.
Anyway, Justin, what do you have to recommend this week?
Well, Skype is an immaculate piece of software that's very easy to use.
It's so intuitive.
I'll say watch The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, CBS, 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central. Watch any of the late night shows. They're all doing some great work from home now, and it's a very lot of lightheartedness that I think does a lot of good. So also sometime soon, Fallon just unveiled this with Lady Gaga. She's doing something with what's the everyone's been doing the Instagram live concerts with this one corporate, or this one company, this one NPO. I cannot remember what it's called now. But basically,
Microsoft.
False. So she's putting on Lady
the parent
Gaga,
company of Skype.
Jimmy Fallon, Stephen Colbert. Let me just see here. What is it? One World Together at Home is what it's called, and it's going to be happening soon. I don't remember when, but Fallon, Colbert, and Kimmel are going to host it, and they're going to have a bunch of live music acts, and they've already raised $35 million for this for this fundraiser. It's got a lot, so that's coming up. Keep your eyes out for that, because that kind of stuff, I think we need to promote more of that. Beth and I watched Rocket Man. And I was shocked at how much I liked it.
I thought you said I was shocked how much I hated it. I'm glad you liked it.
Right? No, I was. No, it was good. It was really. It's a musical, but it does not feel, show tuney musical-esque, because it's all Elton John songs. So I thought they did a really good job. Taron Egerton,
love that guy.
Amazing.
That guy's the best.
He's a killer, and he sang all of the songs in the thing, and he's amazing. So I would say go watch that if you're looking for just kind of a pick me up. It's really cool.
Yeah. For all my 40K nerds out there, and Justin, this one applies to you. I don't know if you remember, a couple months ago I showed you a fan-made web series involving Warhammer 40K. It was animated, and I showed you the first 4 parts.
Yes.
And you were like, I don't know what this is, but I like it. Well,
I'm into it.
The 5th part got released last week. It's called Astartes. It's on YouTube. It's spelled Astartes. Little backstory. This guy is making amazing fan-made animated videos based on the Warhammer 40K universe. It's phenomenal. He does it all himself. Animation, sound design, the whole thing. His account on YouTube got hacked. Lost all of his videos. And through the help of people like Markiplier and others on YouTube, got his account back, got his stuff back, and he just recently released the 5th and final part of the series. And it is amazeballs. Go to YouTube, Astartes, Astartes. Just Google that, watch all 5 parts. You'll be blown away. You may not understand what's going on in the universe, but you can fucking appreciate that this is badass. It's amazing. I've watched it a bazillion times. And everyone's just like, hire this guy, give him a couple $1 million, have him make something. It's beautiful. Go check that out, and we'll talk about it later. It'll be amazing.
Love it.
All right, gang. That being said, quick plug here. Go, if you're on Twitch, thank you. Follow us. Please follow us on Twitch. We're doing a lot more stuff. We're inching closer to becoming a part of the affiliate program, and part of that contingency is that we get some followers. So we're doing pretty good. We could use a few more. So please follow us on Twitch. Not only do we do a live stream for when we record our videos, in which you can ask questions like you did today to Omari, but also we do video game streams, as someone so pleasantly called them, the Corona streams. The Corona nights. And the Corona, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, everyone's quarantined, so we're playing games on Saturdays. And we've been doing it the last 3 weeks. We're going to keep doing them. There's so much fun. We have a lot of Mind Gap All-Stars that come on and play with us. We have a blast. I take snippets of it and I post them throughout the week. So please come hang out with us on Twitch, twitch.tv/MindGapPodcast. It means the world to us. We love hanging out with you. Some of our favorite fans, eToy07, who's on here a lot, he's been playing the games with us. We pick stuff that you guys can play along with. It's so much fun. Come join us. And also, don't forget to find us on all of our social medias at MindGap Podcast. Go to our YouTube page. We've got plenty of videos there. We're going to keep you entertained. We're going to be with you through all this. So come follow us. Come hang out. We're going to have a good time. And you can also follow Justin in certain places that he's going to tell you right now.
That's true. On Instagram and Twitter at Justin_Michael, spelled Mikel. It is the fun way of spelling it. And while you're in the online realm, check us out on Apple Podcast, on Stitcher,
Spotify,
and Google Podcast, where you can find and consume the old casts of pods. And then you can subscribe to us, share us, rate us, review us, all those things. The big one for us is sharing. If you hear something you like, if you really like this episode, you have someone else who's, into comedy writing, and they're like, oh, there's some good information in this episode, just share it to them or to a couple people, and hopefully they'll share it around, and then we grow and we can do cooler things. And then 2east8th.com/mindgap. And 2east8th.com in general. We are updating our website, actually, for the first time in like 3 years, maybe. And we have some really cool stuff that we are planning, and we're going to make some announcements on there and our social medias, so keep an eye on that. And, hopefully just with MindGap, too, we're going to be having, with this, it allows us for more guests like Omari.
Yes.
So we never could have had him in-house. There's some other guests that we're going to go after, bigger guests now, because what the hell else is everyone doing? So
right.
Hopefully we're going to have some really cool content coming up for you guys.
Yes, we're super excited. We're having a blast. We love... Right now, it's a hard time for everybody, but honestly, I'm having a great time connecting with people, and This is my creative outlet. We love being here and giving you guys something to listen to and chat about and participate. It really, honestly, it makes my day. I don't want to speak for Justin. I can guess that it's pretty cool for him, too. So
yeah, it's all right.
Thank you guys so much for everything. We appreciate it. And with that being said, Twitch, thank you.
Wait, you started with Twitch this time. Listeners, thank you.
Justin, I saved the best for last. Justin, thank you.
And I saved the best for last. Doug, thank you.
And you all have a dandy fucking week.
Mind Gap Podcast.